That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
You think the play button on an iPad would be easier to hit. Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Comic Reviews. You can tell this is an authentic Sid Part 2 episode of Comic Reviews because it's starting a couple minutes late and immediately with a fuck up. As it's been known to do. I'm not sure how many people I should expect live tonight. Ooh, I am very laggy, it looks like. But I'm not sure how many people I should expect live tonight, so I'm really not going to wait for too long. I'm doing this the night after New Comic Book Day, because New Comic Book Day this year was Valentine's Day, so I didn't do comic reviews live because, you know, I have a wife and we celebrated Valentine's Day together. We actually had a really good time, so I figured I'd vlog about that for a minute or two before I get into the books I'm talking about this week. Give people a chance to show up live, otherwise. So anyway, you may notice a big stuffed animal. This is Jumpa. This is Wonder Woman's Kanga that she rides into battle. I got this for Haley for Valentine's Day. Kind of a funny story behind this one. I needed to go book something for our Valentine's Day that I'll talk about again. I'll talk about further in just a second, but it was right on the end of town where another comic shop is, so I figured I'd go in there, take a look through the trades, see if I could find anything that I liked. And then I didn't see anything, so I was just on my way out the door, and right as I'm walking out the door, Jumpa pops up, and I was like, oh god, it's too cute, it's too adorable. She even has a pouch, which is cute. So I got it for Haley, and oddly enough, it's part of a line that DC does called Super Pets or Superhero Pets, and I actually do have another one of those, that being Dexter, Atrocitus's Red Lantern cat. So I got Jumpa and Dexter together now. I'm excited that we got these, and they're too much fun. Not a huge plush collector, but I liked this line DC's doing. I've seen Crypto. I'm waiting to see Ace. But yeah, there's those. So Haley got that as Valentine's gift with some chocolates, and she was really happy about that. We went to dinner at a really nice Mexican restaurant in town. And then the other nerdy thing that we did for Valentine's Day is someone opened a virtual reality arcade in town. And I'm going to look back on this video when virtual reality is like a dime a dozen and anyone can get it cheap as hell, and like laugh at myself for being so wowed by virtual reality, but it was super fun to do. You know, we got like each in our own room, and we played two games. One of them was called Loco Dojo. It was kind of like a Mario Party thing, like board game and then mini games. That was fun. And then we played another game that was like a snowball fight simulator kind of thing, and that was really fun too. And I'm definitely going back, I'll tell you that much. I had a really good time with, you know, new video games, which is a big deal to me, since I haven't liked a lot of new games, obviously. But otherwise, it was a really good Valentine's Day, so sorry I wasn't here, not sorry, because I had a great time. Let's see, what's the live comment saying? Noel Martinez says, I made it on time! Yes, you did make it on time. Congratulations. Dr. Holocron says, hey Ian, if you haven't decided the next book for Comic Book Club, might I suggest holding a vote? Stay tuned at the end of the episode. Or, no, I'll talk about that next, actually. Noah Martinez says he also wanted the Crypto one. The Crypto one's pretty cool, but I'm holding out for Ace. I'm not buying another unless it's Ace. Unless they just wow me with, like, Bat Cow or something. Anyway. So, before I get into the books this week, and for those of you watching after the fact that are just, like, screaming at the thing, talk about the current books, da-da-da-da. Well, you know, there's timestamps in the description that you can click on, and it'll take you right to whatever book I'm talking about. Nervous, okay. Let me pull up my calendar real quick here, and check on what's going on in March. Alright, so Comic Book Club for March will be on the 17th. I like the 2 p.m. time slot. That worked out really well. So, March Comic Book Club Live. For those that don't know, we started a new series here on the channel. It is a open forum, open discussion live show where anyone who has read and owns the book or rented it from the library can come join. All you need is bare minimum a microphone and headphones, webcam preferred, and to own a copy of the book, whether that be physical or Comixology, or again renting it from the library. So those are the things. We'll be doing it March 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Put it down on your calendars. And the only thing we haven't decided yet is which book we're going to be doing it on. I wanted to do a Marvel title this time, so I got 3 options to vote on. I'll be posting a Twitter poll later tonight, but if you don't have Twitter and you're just watching this on YouTube, that's okay. You can leave a comment in the after show. Don't leave it in the live show because I won't be able to see it. You can leave a comment in the after show and pick which book you want to talk about, whether that be Punisher Max Kingpin, Black Panther, or Who is the Black Panther, rather, by Reginald Hudlin, and Captain America, Man Out of Time. Those are your options. Those are the Marvel books we will be considering discussing. So, come join us for that. I hope that, a couple weeks, basically a whole month to get a hold of everything is well enough time. Maybe you already own one of these. Maybe you like one character more than the other. Maybe you really like the new Black Panther movie and you want to read some Black Panther in the comics. So this will inspire you to pick this up. I know Barnes & Noble just released a new edition of Who is the Black Panther that would definitely be worth picking up. So, plenty of options there. Leave a vote in the comments and check the description for a Twitter poll that I'll be posting later tonight after the show. Okay, so that's all the announcement-y stuff out of the way. I've been going for 7 minutes already. If anyone's coming live, they better already be here. Otherwise, the fuck you even doing with your life, man? I'm just wasting my time. Alright, what's the, Okay. A bunch of people talking about seeing Black Panther. Cool. Alright. This week is pretty light week, but we've got... Oh, let me reshuffle these so they're in the right order. There we go. We'll be talking about Darth Vader, number 11. Captain America, number 698. Wonder Woman, number 40. And for Trade Talk this week, we'll be wrapping up Batman No Man's Land with Volume 4. So, hope that's enough for you. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with Darth Vader, number 11. I continue to not like what Charles Soule is doing with Darth Vader. It's just... It's okay at best, kind of clever from time to time, but ultimately really underwhelming and just not satisfying. I don't know, this whole scene, it's just a lot of, it's too much action for me, and I just don't think of Vader as a super action-heavy character. The thing that makes Vader interesting to me is the pathos, is the rage, the stoicism, I guess. And it's not that nothing's done with the character in those regards here. There's an interesting little moment between Darth Vader and one of the Inquisitors, where the Inquisitor says that as a former Jedi, she knew, I think it's a she knew, like, she was good at reading emotions in others. Let's see here. Me, though, I'm the sensitive type. I was always good at reading emotions, and now that I'm touching the dark side, I'm even better. You're eager. You want to fight another Jedi. Bad. Darth Vader dismisses it, walks away. Poor sadistic monster doesn't know himself at all. Dying to fight. Dying to die. I mean, that's like a cool moment. And I think I'd certainly agree with that assessment of Darth Vader's character at this point in the Star Wars timeline. But I don't know. The rest of the issue is like Darth Vader goes into the club. His lightsaber's destroyed. He has to fight some people who are in force fields. He kills a bunch of people. The people in force fields run away. He threatens the Inquisitor and takes his lightsaber, her lightsaber, I don't know, and then chases them down in a speeder. And like that'd be a really cool action figure. Meh, I don't know. This is just And then, like, it turns out that the people that hired these bounty hunters that Darth Vader just fucking wrecked might have been Sidious. Again, it's got this mission-based feel to it. Walk in a nightclub, fight in a nightclub, chase down the person that tried to kill you, negotiate with them. You now have a new mission. Just underwhelming. Oh, I should talk about the art, though. There's not, like, much to say about it. I think it's okay, but it's just not terribly interesting. There's this underlying notion of what Darth Vader's doing to the Inquisitors that I like, and I like how it's being visualized. Darth Vader, like, being the half-man, half-machine that he is now, is, like, just maiming and what's the word? Dismembering people every chance he gets. So these Inquisitors who are training under him, his way to get them more in touch with the dark side is to cut parts off of them. And so this Inquisitor, he took an eye. That I kind of like. The art, though, it's got some stuff, like I said, that I thought looked kind of cool. Vader on the, like, a black version of the speeders that you saw on Endor is kind of cool. Like, more of an urban kind of looking one. That's kind of neat. This whole highway fight, like, it looks like cool action. It's just not really what I associate with Vader. And again, maybe I would like this action more if I were getting to play it, but meh. Just nothing really interesting in this. Noel Martinez says, have you read any of the New Age Heroes title DC's launched recently? No, I'm not. I think, is that the one, or is it DC Zoom that's got, like, the young Green Lantern? I've seen some stuff that looks really interesting with that, but I haven't read any of that. I didn't realize any of that was out yet. Let's go ahead and move on, though, to Captain America number 698. This was pretty good. So obviously Secret Empire was a pretty spectacular failure of an attempt to do social commentary with Captain America about the current state of the country. And with the country slowly falling into authoritarian rule, you kind of need, or you certainly want to know what Captain America's opinion of that is going to be. And Mark Waid has, I feel, a really strong take on Captain America. I really, really like Captain America Man Out of Time, which is on voting options for a comic book club. And that's, of course, written by Mark Waid. I think this is one of the stronger takes on Captain America. But here he's doing the run again. He's back to the character and continuity and all that stuff. And he just kind of has to deal with everything that just happened with Captain America. And so here he is dealing with it. The last time we saw Cap, he got frozen in ice. Again. And so here in this issue, he's waking up after being frozen in ice, and he's in a dystopian future of America. That's pretty disappointing. He's kind of given the background on all this and seen this like authoritarian state that their first move is to kill any dissidents and ban people from gathering, and we're given all this backstory of Maximilian Babington being the one who started a nuclear war and kind of enslaved all the people in the process, and people are being branded with A's and Z's and Y's on their head to determine their class. And you're getting a lot of authoritarian imagery, support the state. You got police and protesters. That's a very poignant image in this day and age. Cap says, due process, nostalgia. Laws against cruel and unusual punishment. Punishment, as you saw, is pretty standardized, so not really an issue. Punishment being death. And that's all really interesting. It's kind of a cool idea to put Captain America in the future again and see him have to deal with all of this. And as he's looking over the wreckage of different parts of America, he says, the name of my country was stolen, the Republic destroyed, this wasn't supposed to be the future, everything we fought for. Lang, I don't know how many generations it took to tear down the American dream, but long, long before all this, there used to be a document called the Bill of Rights. I lived by it. It guaranteed freedom of religion, Lang, freedom of the press, freedom to speak truth to power, and freedom from power's abuse. You rebels need to know about it. I can write it down from memory if you want. Cap, we've heard of the Bill of Rights. How long do you think you were frozen? This is 2025. I love the facial expression that Cap has in that panel. And so I see people saying Mark Waid isn't great with politics. I don't really know a ton about Mark Waid's writing. I've not read a ton of stuff by him. He's like one of those giants of comics who's kind of had a little bit everywhere. Like I read, obviously, Tower of Babel from Justice League. Excuse me, goddamn. But I've not like read a ton of stuff that he's done. So I don't really know what Mark Waid's voice is for politics, but that was a damn good moment where you just see how where he does a really good job of showing this, barbaric, crazy situation, and then the reveal that it's only been less than 10 years to get to this point is kind of perfect because it shows you everything can change at the drop of a hat. I mean, look at pictures of Syria from 2010, 2009. It changed quickly. And certainly people didn't have freedom, the same freedoms there. The situations were not directly comparable. But the standard of living was certainly better than it is now. Or better yet, look at pictures of Iraq or Afghanistan in the 1950s. You wouldn't really be able to tell the difference between any other, 50s town. War does a lot to a country. You give power to the right kind of people, or the wrong kind of people rather, and things change drastically very quickly. So that was just a very good moment, Mark Waid. Stunning transition and reveal in the panel there. So anyways, the authoritarian government wants to know where Captain America is. They want to start hunting him down, and Cap, of course, being Cap, joins the resistance and starts fighting with the rebels against the oppressive state. We get some really cool art that's just very fitting for Captain America. This feels like a proper Captain America versus a wayward America than Secret Empire did. And, it ends with a really strong image of Captain America saying, "We're going to take back our country." I liked it. It was a strong issue. I'm certainly excited for 699 and 700. It's good stuff. Can't wait for more. This book had just been okay, but that was a really, really strong issue. And I really appreciated it. So we shall see as it goes on. Alright. Final single issue of the week is Wonder Woman number 40. And oh, hey, look. Turns out Justice League's on Blu-ray. Let me just go rush out to the store to not buy that. Wonder Woman number 40, Swan Song. This is, I believe, part 2. Swan Song conclusion. Written by James Robinson again, and still not digging this. Quick plot synopsis: Wonder Woman and Jason Woman wake up in an alley, and they're magically healed thanks to their god DNA. And Silver Swan's not there, so they go to start looking for her. Cuts to Steve Trevor fighting with the with his version of the Howling Commandos, fighting the Furies, Darkseid's Furies, which is kind of a cool scene. While looking for Silver Swan, they're told that she's killed everybody in a hospital and wiped all data of like the medical experiment that was done with her in an instant, and so no one will ever be able to turn a person with without the use of their legs or whatever into a cybernetic monster again. Okay. And then Silver Swan's looking for Wonder Woman and decides to go attack Jason at their house that they share together. And then Wonder Woman shows up in the middle of her attack and beats the shit out of Vanessa, trying to figure out a way to beat her, and says, "I'm sorry for everything that I've done, for every hit that I'm making, blah, 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 blah." And then kind of drowns her. Not permanently, just drowns her so that she can clear all the bots from her system, kind of puts her into a coma. And, that's how Wonder Woman 1 saved her. And then they're keeping her at Argus, and we get this reveal that one of the doctors taking care of her is actually Dr. Psycho, but we know that, the audience doesn't know that. And then at the end, Jason gets kidnapped, presumably by Darkseid and Grail. Just what a horrible name for the daughter of Darkseid. Anyway, gets kidnapped, but he gets so after leaving Wonder Woman a note saying that he's going to go try to find himself and be a more worthy brother of Wonder Woman. He's not living up to the name Woman. And so Wonder Woman's kind of left holding that note on the deck on which he was kidnapped, unaware presumably that he's been kidnapped. This issue isn't bad or anything. It's just in 20 years, when I ask someone, do you remember DC Rebirth's Wonder Woman number 40? They're going to look at me and go, no. Like, nothing about this stands out. I mean, say what you will about Azzarello, at least it left an impact and people are going to remember his run. If I say, oh, you remember Azzarello's Wonder Woman run, they're going to be like, oh, the one where the Amazons killed the male babies? Yeah. So, I don't know. This is... Maybe it's better to be forgettable than to be offensive to some, but it's just not very well written. Really, no matter how you sell, it's just not well written. It's I don't feel any passion in it. It's pretty bad. And that's really all I got. I just don't think this is good. By any stretch of the imagination, I just don't feel like this is good. I feel like the art's okay. But the artist didn't change, but the level of work really dropped to me. Because I don't know, the first time we saw Silver Swan perfectly in the armor and everything, she looked a lot more vicious. It was a lot better rendered, and I don't think the artist has changed since issue 39. It's just, it's not as clean. Meh. Just meh. So I've got 2 issues of meh and 1 issue of this was good and exciting. That was comic reviews this week. Oh my. What are the live comments saying? Dr. Holocron says, it sucks that Waid has to clean up Spencer's mess, but I'm glad Cap is being written well again. Yeah. Nathan Snyder says, Waid has been well known for taking a hero whose life has been messed up and picking them back up again. Just look at Daredevil. Fine point, even though I haven't read his Daredevil run, so I can't comment on that specifically. Dr. Holocron says, Grail's first name should be Holly, so her name would be Holly Grail. Ha. Okay, then. Anyway, that'll do it for the live part of comic reviews where I interact with people and do stupid shit like that. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Again, sorry, not sorry that it was a day late, but Valentine's Day was more important, and I had a really good time, so it was well worth it. Also, give me more time to read the books, so it's not bad. Of course, it happens on like a week where I've only got 3 books, so that would have been an easy read in one night. It's not a week where I've got like, 9 books. Good luck. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to Trade Talk. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Trade Talk, and this week we are finishing off Batman No Man's Land. This concludes the epic run that was Batman Cataclysm, Road to No Man's Land, and No Man's Land. And I really, Cataclysm gets billed as a different thing. I really feel like No Man's Land is so directly tied to Cataclysm more than anything else. They mention Contagion, but it's not even a factor in No Man's Land to any degree that Cataclysm is. So I kind of loop those all together in one, but maybe that's just me. So yeah, this concludes No Man's Land, though. and I really, really like this volume. This probably has some of the best stuff in No Man's Land in it. But the interesting thing is, a lot of this doesn't work without the rest of No Man's Land, and that includes Volume 3, which I said probably had the most skippable stuff in it. And, you know, that's fine. It's just one of those things, stuff changes. This opens up with the Leslie Tompkins story, where we're kind of seeing what No Man's Land is becoming, wherein she's trying to run this clinic and keep peace, but she's got different factions, being the criminal, the strong men who are the offshoot of the GCPD Blue Boys, or Batman, kind of all fighting for control within it, and it's just chaos, and it's frightening, and it's a really good mood setter for the rest of the arc, or the rest of the trade. And so I really appreciate it for that. It also starts to show a divide growing between Huntress and Pettit, that I think is really interesting, because in the first volume, Huntress adopted the Batman symbol and look and everything to help solidify control in the early days of No Man's Land. But once Batman came back and she couldn't hold up to his standards, he told her to give up the costume and quit trying to be a bat and, you know, just give in. And then, you know, she goes from being, like, abandoned by him to working with Pettit once he left GCPD, and so they kind of form this alliance on this, we're willing to go to extremes that the others aren't. And so that's just like that's an interesting place to start her character growth, wherein she's never been able to live up to Batman's standards, to her deciding not to live up to Batman's standards and kind of go her own way, and then this gets to conclude that in a really interesting way. So we get the beginnings of this schism developing between her and Pettit in this story, and we also get some stuff with Bruce Wayne that's really interesting. Then the second arc, which is by far my favorite thing in this volume, is Jurisprudence, which is just a 2-part story. There's a third part to it that's more just about Batman and Gordon, but Jurisprudence, for my money, is the best Two-Face story ever. So early in No Man's Land, Gordon makes a deal with Dent, kind of like a mutual protection thing with Two-Face, and that kind of blows up in his face when he tries to break off that deal, and it gets Renee Montoya kidnapped. And so this kind of, we begin to see the consequences of, wherein Dent goes kind of crazy and he has Renee Montoya wear a deputy uniform, and he kidnaps Jim Gordon and decides that they're going to have a trial of Jim Gordon for breaking the law and abandoning his post and all these other things. And so the second issue is the trial. And it's so good to see just Two-Face throw all the things Jim Gordon's done wrong right in front of Jim's face in the entire story. And I really like the way this works out, because he frames it up as a real trial, which is really funny. So he tells Gordon that he can object at any time that he wants, and he's like, Detective Montoya, could you describe your relationship with James Gordon? Oh, for crying out, answer the question! He's my boss. Friend. Objection. Friend, he's my good call, Jimmy. Flips the coin. Comes up guard side. Overruled. I'll ask again. And it's just like, you get a real sense of the drama, and I really like what they start to do in this, wherein you just get like a page of the character with the questions going with the dialogue of the questions. Q, Mr. H. Dent. Please tell the court what the defendant asked you to do on day 190 of No Man's Land. A, Detective. Third, R, Montoya. Damn it, Harvey, you know. Answer the question, Detective Montoya. He told me to talk to you. Like, I really like this back and forth. It creates a really rapid pace, which helps intensify the scene, and you just feel the tension there. It's really, really good. And then the next page, Jim Gordon gets put on the stand, and he has to go through the same thing. I'm going to warn you at the outset that you are under oath. I know how to give testimony, you sanctimonious. Are you acquainted with the criminal known as Two-Face? Looking right at him. How long have you known him? Answer, please. As Two-Face, I've known him almost 9 years. Could you list for the court the number of times he's been taken into custody and for what crimes? And so it goes back and forth like that. It's just really, really cool. And then the really, really best part about this for me is that Two-Face decides, okay, he charges Gordon with this crime, and says the prosecution's rests, and then he holds up the coin and says, I don't think we need this to determine the verdict, do we? Guilty. Sentence to be carried out immediately. No, wait. What about his defense? He's entitled to defense. No defense. No one to speak for him. I'll speak in my own defense. You? I don't think so, Jimmy. You're not a lawyer. I'd have to declare a mistrial. Then I'll defend him. Same problem, detective. You can't do this, Harvey. You told me you loved the law. You can't pervert it like this. No one can speak for him, Renee. Don't you understand? You can. I love this. Gordon says, you can. Looks right at Two-Face. It's like, I want Harvey Dent to defend me. Dent. For the defense. You have to, Harvey. You're the only one who can defend him. And you just get the coin, and you get the sequence of the coin flip, and the catch, and the look. I love this. This whole page is gorgeous. Points the gun right at his face. Commissioner, you may step down. The defense calls its first and only witness. Two-Face. I love this panel of justice. It's beautiful. And then they bring back the deposition trick. That was the word I was looking for. They bring back the deposition, and they have it split right down the middle. And Harvey Dent questions Two-Face on the stand, and it is one of the most kooky comic booky things ever, and it's brilliant, and I love it. This is one of those things we'll probably never in a million years get in a movie. It is one of the most fundamentally, you could really only get away with this in a comic because it's just a little too goofy for film or television. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I doubt the DCEU would try something like this. But the idea of putting Harvey Dent, who has this split personality, on the stand to question Two-Face is really cool. And I love the dialogue because it really does feel like two separate characters in this deposition. Mr. H. Dent, did you, Two-Face, you miserable, self-righteous, arrogant, pompous, sir, I'll have to ask, or what? You'll do what, you worthless? Permission to treat as a hostile witness, Your Honor. And who do you think you're talking to, you stupid? Thank you. Two-Face, did you approach James Gordon on day 124 of the federal No Man's Land? Don't you remember you were there? Did you offer him anything in exchange for your help? We entered into an agreement and you know it. Were terms set? No terms were. What happened next? Oh, you remember, don't you? We laid out the bodies of the Zosha and the Wreckers and let the Blue Boys just... Did Gordon ask for your help? What? Of course not. He's a wimp like you. As a result of the murders you committed, the GCPD gained significant territory. You know it. In essence, you blackmailed Gordon, the implication herein being that the murders were committed at his request. Right. But they weren't. You took it upon yourself to, let's see if I can remember how you put it, serve justice. No. So any contract Gordon entered into with you was under duress and therefore void. No, he did it. He's guilty and you can't. And then we're just left with Two-Face. Oh, I love that scene so much. Again, No Man's Land is the first, proper weekly kind of comic event I ever read, even though it was in retrospect. And, I read Dark Knight Returns, I read Killing Joke. Nothing like this happened in them. Nothing this out there yet simultaneously brilliant happened in any of the big, serious, important books that people talk about. There's no moment like this that's just wacky but super satisfying in Watchmen. And so I really, really, really love this scene. And for my money, this is one of, if not the very best Two-Face story. I adore this scene, and it's disappointing that there aren't more good Two-Face stories where he's actually Two-Face. A lot of good Two-Face stuff is his origin. And then, while the trial was going on, Batman saved a bunch of the hostages that Harvey took. And so, even though Gordon had been feuding with Batman and not wanting to resume their partnership throughout the entirety of No Man's Land to this point, because Batman ran away at the beginning of No Man's Land, here he finally decides to sit down and have a talk with him. And it's just a lot of, silent, awkward panels for a while. And then it's, really roundabout conversation about the way Jim's been growing a garden. And then it's just this conversation about what is the nature of Batman and Gordon's relationship. And it's kind of funny to read out of context because it's very erotic. I don't have many friends. I don't have many people I trust. But I trusted you. I trusted you. You saved my wife and protected my people. I'm grateful for that. Don't think that I'm not. But that's not enough. You say you're my friend. But I don't think you have friends. Maybe you were laughing at me too. No. Really? You used me. You've been using me for 10 years. Or vice versa. Absolutely. Because I thought we wanted the same thing. I thought we wanted our city, this city, to be safe. That's what I thought. I thought we were in this together. Where the hell were you? That's why I don't believe we're friends. You don't respect me. You don't trust me. Blah, 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 blah. You have your secrets. I've never pressed you for them. Maybe I should have, instead of letting you turn me into your whatever it is you see me as. You're my partner. Don't blow smoke at me. It's true. It's what you'd like to think. That doesn't make it true. Partners are equals, Batman. When have you ever treated me like your equal? Partners, for example, tell you their plans. They keep you informed. And they sure as hell don't walk out on you in the middle of a sentence. I've never been good at saying goodbye. Just the romantic subtext is so strong. They're totally fucking. But, in all seriousness, this notion of this, betrayed friendship and the repairing of the friendship is really interesting. And I really like that Batman's solution to this and Gordon's decision on it. There's no man or woman living that I respect more than you. But like you said, saying it isn't enough. The words don't mean anything. They don't fix the damage. Actions speak louder than words, says as he begins to remove the cowl. And Gordon turns around to not see the true person under the mask, to not know that Batman is Bruce Wayne. And he refuses to turn and look. And they agree to resume their partnership. That was pretty good. I like that. I like that issue quite a bit. Then the next big arc is a Catwoman story with Azrael involved. Again, I have a lot of complaints about the way this is collected. There are two major collection problems. The Pilgrim's Return story that also ties in with the Catwoman story. This is about Azrael waiting for Catwoman to re-enter No Man's Land and to help her get the disc that she stole in New York to Batman in an earlier volume. So, like, when Catwoman enters the story in this, she's already on her way to and nearly in Gotham. And then, by the end of the story, she's gotten the disc to Batman and is in Gotham. But then, the next story, which is called The Rules, shows how she got from getting shot in the last volume to Gotham and getting into Gotham. It's just like the Azrael story should clearly be in the middle of all this. Why is it before it? It's so oddly collected. To be fair, there's a lot of pages of just straight repeat. Like, in the Rules story, they credit Denny O'Neil for writing the scenes from Azrael. But still, like, just the Azrael story would make so much more sense sandwiched in between these issues of Catwoman as opposed to before the entire issue. Or before the issue. Or not sandwiched between. It should have been after the issue with Catwoman. Then we get the sense of what Joker's up to. Oh, no. This should have been sandwiched between. We get the sense of what Joker's up to and Batman trying to get these discs and yada yada yada. It's weird to see Harley Quinn in comics because they can be a lot more violent here and it's not as cartoonishly funny, so Joker beating her is a lot more jarring to see. When you see her like get slapped around in the cartoon, there's a level of slapstick or like Looney Tunes to it. In the comic, it looks like domestic abuse. We begin to see the machinations. What Bane was in the previous volume, and we were wondering what he was up to. Should I keep going, or should I just wait for the phone to stop ringing? Sorry. Yeah, but Bane was in the previous issue volume, and we see what he was up to. And the big reveal for who Bane was working for. God damn, ringer's on for days. The big reveal for who Bane was working for is Lex Luthor, who is trying to essentially rebuild and buy Gotham. Get it back on its feet and the No Man's Land, all that stuff. There's a story with Nightwing about Pettit and his men and Huntress breaking into Oracle's watchtower, and this kind of serves to some extent to increase or advance Huntress's story, but it's more or less forgettable. The art in the Nightwing book, though, is just hideous. There's no other way around it. This is just awful to look at. Just everything about it is really ugly. I'm sorry. I really hate the art in the Nightwing book. But anyway, Huntress kind of betrays Pettit a little bit to save Nightwing and Oracle. We do a flashback issue that's kind of about what Bruce Wayne was up to before he came back to No Man's Land, came back to Gotham, but after the No Man's Land was declared, and we get some insight into what made Huntress start putting on the Batgirl costume. We get this cool panel of her before she stitched up the face, which is neat. Talia al Ghul shows up in the flashback. That was cool. And I also really like this shout out to Batman Year One we got just in the art. That's a really nice touch artistically. That he's kind of wearing a really similar outfit to what he wore when he was street walking in Year One. We get a insight here as to why Batman let her even though Batman's been shown not to trust Huntress, why he let Huntress take on the symbol, which is cool. Then we get back to the LexCorp story as Lex tries to rebuild Gotham and really kind of starts to sway public opinion doing so. Let me just say, Ruka writes a really good Lex Luthor, he writes a really good Batman, and he writes a really good Joker. I really appreciate that about Greg Ruka. He really starts showing some great chops here. It's also when Mercy was in the comics. Mercy and Harley Quinn got to be in the comics at the same time. Mercy didn't stick. I don't know why. I love Mercy. Some stuff about like Lex trying to commit fraud. Basically, it's nothing too big. What else goes on in this as the whole situation? Oh, Joker! I love this scene. Joker starts busting up a lot of Lex's rebuilding sites, and trying to get attention. And then one, I love this moment where he thinks he's finally drawn out Batman, and I just love the dialogue. Finally, I was beginning to think you didn't love me anymore. Oh, this is gonna suck. You just get Bane lifting him up. And it's really cool because we got this. This is the back cover, which I imagine was probably the cover for that exact issue where Bane came around to discourage the Joker from disrupting LexCorp property. I love parody covers, and this is a really cool one. So yeah, Bane kicks the shit out of Joker, which is always fun. I always love seeing Joker get the shit kicked out of him. Batman tells Bane that he needs to get out of Gotham while he's still got to deal with Luthor. Public opinion begins to sway in Gotham's favor as the public decides that No Man's Land is a bad idea. And they begin getting people together to try to bring it back. But the last big holdout of crime is Joker, who has claimed some territory for himself. And he is the last force to be reckoned with because he does not want the No Man's Land to end. He likes the anarchy. He likes the chaos. Penguin also tries to extort Lex Luthor via Catwoman, which is... It leads to some fun stuff. I don't love the take this writer for Catwoman has as to what exactly he's having her do, you know, scene to scene. Who is it? John Ostrander. I don't love his take on Catwoman, but his oh, what is it? The way in which he actually writes her as a master thief is really clever, and I really like that. So we get a little bit of Batman Returns feeling here as Catwoman starts working via Penguin's plan and starts causing all this chaos in Lex's operations so that she can get paid by Penguin and blah, blah, blah. And she just, there's little moments and stuff like this. Like, skin-tight suit for a cat burglar actually makes some sense. You're more flexible, you're less likely to leave evidence behind, stuff like that. But a tail and whiskers don't. So I really like this line. I have my costume wrapped inside the towel. I borrow one of the whiskers to open the lock. Each wire whiskers a pick lock. That's why I added them to the outfit. I really like that. I don't like the way the artist... Catwoman's obviously a very sexualized character already. I don't like that the artist seems to be going out of his way to sexualize Catwoman literally at every turn. Just every other panel of Catwoman you see in here, she is just half naked, or the body is just being well too exaggerated for my taste. It's just superfluous. But anyway, I like this general like heist and master thief thing that the writer has going on for her here, when she's breaking into LexCorp and she finds these like power armors and is able to reprogram them and steal them to leave the biggest bite against Lex and all that stuff. That's really cool. And so she's able to use these super suits to steal a bunch of Luthor's equipment. I don't know, I really, really like that scene. And then it comes back again, and she, kind of betrays Penguin, and she gets what she really wanted out of the whole thing, which is revenge on Mercy. So she organizes a meetup with Lex Luthor that is going to be peaceful. Mercy is going to be there, but not be armed. And Lex says, "What will it take to get you to stop messing with my operations?" And she says, "Well, Lex, it's very simple. Lex, all you have to do is ask." "Very well. I'm asking you to stop interfering with my business. Say, please." "Please." "Why, certainly, Lex. All you had to do was ask. I could never refuse anything. You know that." "Ciao, Mercy, darling." And then Lex just, walks back to the limo and gets in the car and he says, "I'm very disappointed, Mercy. Very." And you just get this, I love this sense that Mercy is just completely devoted to Lex Luthor. So that, the one thing Catwoman had to do to get revenge on Mercy for literally shooting her in the gut was to make Lex disappointed in her. So that was really cool. And then I don't like the way this ends, but whatever. Then everyone gears up for a final confrontation with the Joker on Christmas Eve, which is, pretty cool. I like it. I like it quite a bit. The Joker's plan is to kidnap every baby born in No Man's Land. His idea is to steal hope. Again, here's the imagery of the domestic violence occurring in the comic, and tonally it's a lot darker and a lot harder to look at. So, fair warning on that. Yeah, just really the way Harley's written here. "Choking me. Sorry, I'll be quiet." That's it. It makes Joker an evil son of a bitch. It's just hard to look at. But anyway, yes, Joker has kidnapped every baby in Gotham because he wants to steal hope. And that's really good. I like that quite a bit. Then the big reveal at the end is Pettit's strongmen gang get prodded by Joker, and I really love the way this ends. Merry Christmas, pigs, and the start of the next issue, December 24th, Christmas Eve. When Joker struck, he struck at the weakest link. Billy Pettit and his pseudo militia, the self-proclaimed strongmen of Gotham City. Madness versus madness, with innocents caught in the crossfire. I should also mention that the name of this story is Endgame, and it is one of the better Joker stories in comics. So Joker attacks the strongmen and pokes and prods at Pettit, who is clearly coming unhinged because he's a militiaman who was finally given the chance to run his own little military state. And now as that military state looks like it's going away because the federal government is coming back to Gotham City, he is becoming power hungry and power mad and is pointing guns at people at every turn and not trusting anybody. And that's causing a lot of grief between him and Huntress. And so Joker showing up and poking and prodding at him and daring him to come out and calling him a pig and all this stuff is really starting to grind at him. And so Pettit runs out and takes the bait and goes to attack Joker and sees him right in the sights of a sniper rifle and shoots him in the head. The Joker's been shot in the head by a random character who you've never heard of before No Man's Land. Of course. Except it's not really the Joker. Because more Jokers start showing up Turns out it's Pettit's men. Bill is killing his own men. Joker and Harley are kidnapping them and covering them in Joker clothes and makeup and sending them out for Pettit to waste his bullets on and kill. And that causes the dynamic between Huntress and Pettit to erode completely, to the point where Huntress tells, what's his name? Flass? Whatever. Tells one of the other militiamen to go to GCPD and get help. And as the guy starts to run away, he's like, hold off, I'll come with backup. And Bill Pettit says, I said, no one leaves without my permission, and shoots him in the head like he's a traitor. Huntress runs to the body and says, you're as mad as Joker is, as sick and as evil and as wrong. And she attacks and kills Pettit. So what I really like about that scene is, as I said before, throughout the No Man's Land arc, we've been developing Huntress's character, and she's always been that anti-hero thing. Before anti-hero's really a big thing, by the way. She's always been on that anti-hero line, and in No Man's Land, she's given the opportunity to go with someone who is, by any means necessary kind of a character, who's willing to kill and do the wrong things for the right reasons. And she gets to be with that person and realizes it's not for the right reasons. It just happens to be somewhat better than people who want to kill because it's fun. That it is about being power mad and is about letting things go to your head. And there's this recurring line throughout all of No Man's Land in regards to Officer Pettit about how he has a bullet for every man, woman, and child in Gotham because he was crazy and he had a stockpile of ammunition before the Cataclysm. And so Huntress is the only one left after she takes out Pettit, and Joker sicks all of his men on her. And she does a good job fighting them, and I really love this Joker line as he shoots her right in the middle of all the action. You're good. She's good, isn't she? Very good. As good as I've seen, and I've seen the best. It's funny, because I wouldn't be shooting you like this. Except it turned out Pettit had so many bullets. I'd swear he had a bullet for every man, woman, and child in Gotham. And since I won't be using the bullets on the kids, I figure those ones, they're all yours. Here, have another one, cutie. Shoots her. Tough little thing, ain't ya? Sigh. It's been fun. Just sticks the gun right up to her head. On December 24th, Christmas Eve, Joker finally made his move, attacking Billy Pettit's camp, a battle of madmen. Pettit never had a chance. Huntress held her ground, fighting off 12 goons, taking 3 bullets, protecting the 80 innocent men, women, and children who have been ordered to attend Pettit's Christmas feast. She held her ground. We'll never forget that. You're a real sport, doll. Know that? Thanks for playing. And now we have a lovely parting gift for you. Bite me. But just in time, Nightwing and Batman show up, so Joker rabbits. And it becomes a race to see what Joker's done with all the babies in Gotham. And so the police and everybody are out looking for children, but all they're finding are booby traps. So we got Smilex gas, we got a bomb rig, yada yada yada. Sarah Essen's walkie-talkie is damaged in all the scramble, and so Gordon tells her to go back to HQ to get another one. She does. Batman's been chasing Joker the whole time, but notices Joker seems particularly acrobatic, which is strange. And when he finally catches up, he realizes it's not Joker, it's Harley Quinn, and wants to know where Joker is. And she tells him, It's at Central, at HQ, where Sarah is. And Sarah S. and Gordon walks in on the Joker with all the babies in no man's land. Put the baby down gently now. And this has got to be one of the scariest fucking panels of the Joker ever. Just immediately, like, what I love about this panel is you get the sense that he knows exactly what he's about to do. The artist does such a good job of communicating the Joker as this horrific threat in just such little space. And I love the dialogue that Ruka writes for him. Oh, it's the police. I'd like to report a crime. She tried to shoot me, and I dropped the baby. Stop it. I mean it. Reaches for his gun, starts to pull it out. No, I mean she rushed me, and I dropped the baby. Or maybe I just... throws the baby for Gordon to catch, says Merry Christmas, and shoots her in the head. The thing I like about this, and I'll talk about the whole, killing someone because it's Gordon, but because of their relation to Gordon in a second, but the thing I like about this is he does it because it's so much more personal than the vague notion of killing someone, of killing someone who none of these characters know. Killing the baby of someone who none of these characters know. I mean, that is objectively awful. Killing babies is wrong. I don't know. It's 2018. Apparently, we have to clarify these things. But what I really like about the scene is instead of killing the babies, he kills the person who he knows he's going to have a direct personal effect on, that he's going to have to continue to deal with. So he kills Sarah Eston Gordon. And I really, really like that. I really, truly do. And then the question becomes, well, he was still alone with the babies. Why didn't he kill her and the babies? And the answer becomes, I feel, it would show up the crime too much. Killing the babies would be the thing everyone remembers, not killing the police commissioner's wife. Now, there is arguably some sexism, some remnants of Woman in the Refrigerator, though this doesn't motivate Gordon. I feel this is really well treated like a tragedy. Maybe that's just me. Like, they don't mourn it. It doesn't give Gordon a new sense of purpose or anything. It's just a really sad fucking scene. And I really appreciate it for that. I don't know. Is she killed because it's going to have more of an effect on Gordon than it will on anyone? Yeah, I believe she'd been written in Gotham Central and had played a bigger role, though I could be wrong about that. She's definitely had a character throughout the entire series of No Man's Land. I felt like she's been an important character, a member of the GCPD gang. But there is definitely the thing of it's done more to satisfy Gordon's character arc than it is to satisfy Gordon and Joker's characters than it is to satisfy her. I can't really deny that. I think it's well done, though. Maybe that's just me. I think that is an appropriate way in which to handle it. It's not exploitative. It doesn't just damage her for damaging her sake. It's not a shock value. I feel like this has more implications than that. So Gordon finds out about her being killed and wants to kill the Joker. And Batman straight says, I won't stop you this time. I can't. We've all gone too far. Look at them. Look at us. They can't take anymore. It's time to bring our people back, Jim. But I won't stop you. And so Gordon decides to shoot Joker in the leg. He shot me. He shot my knee. I'm an ever... Oh! Like your daughter! I get it! Good one, Commissioner. And he's taken away, laughing. Arrest him. Charge his murder. And Gordon just kind of like drops down to the ground and cries, and Batman has to catch him. I really like that. That's a good scene. I enjoyed it. Now let's talk about this issue, which is The World Around the Corner. This is a Robin story. Now the last volume, Volume 3, ended with Tim Drake's father finding out that that Tim Drake was in Gotham. Throughout this volume, Robin has been in Gotham still. Right at the end here, in this last issue, before the last issue of Endgame, they pick up the cliffhanger from the end of the last volume, and it's a story about extracting Tim Drake from Gotham. And it's like a big news event and everything. Why? Like, I think the story is pretty fucking pointless. Just structurally, I think you either leave Robin in Gotham or you do not. I think it's really, really stupid to have him be in and out, because it takes away the severity of the No Man's Land when you do that. But then again, at the same time, the way this is collected, putting it here is the absolute worst place for it to be, because it's in the middle of another story. It doesn't add anything to that other story, and it's just pointless. I'm not going to say don't put it in, and obviously Robin spying on things is important, and helping is important. I would say that should have been placed somewhere during the Catwoman Lex Luthor stuff, and then just have him come back at some point where, I don't fucking know, but God, it was so weird to put it in the place they did. I really, really dislike it. You have no idea how weird it feels placed where it is. Because just it interrupts the flow of the entire No Man's Land story so much. Yeah, it's like they take him out of Gotham in his own book, but not in the other books, and that was just poor planning on whoever decided to do that part. That was just poorly thought out, and I don't like it. And it's weirdly placed in the collection, no matter what you do. It would have been awkward anywhere. It's really awkward there because it stomps on a lot of the moments. And then No Man's Land, and the end of Endgame happens as we attend the funeral of Sarah S. and Gordon, and Lex Luthor makes his move with trying to buy up all of Gotham real estate via fraud. And so Batman has to kind of find a way to stop him, and yeah. It's just a cool story. I like it. It's Batman versus Lex Luthor. It's great. I like how fucking ruthless Lex Luthor is. There's this scene where Lucius Fox tells him, "Oh, I think you accidentally committed fraud. I'm gonna go. You can keep this, but I've got copies, and I'm gonna go down to the party and tell some other people about that." And Lex is like, "Oh, you don't mind if I keep these? Okay, yeah, we'll look into it shortly." And so Lucius Fox goes, "Okay, see you at the party, Lex," and leaves. And it's just, I love this sequence of panels. It's just single silent panel as Lex yells, "Mercy, kill him before he gets downstairs," and she just rushes for the door. But Batman kicks it in and knocks her off her ass. And then looks right at Luthor and says, "I warned you a month ago. This is my town. Gotham's not for sale. If you leave now, you can be in Metropolis by midnight," because it happens on New Year's Eve. It's a good scene. And so on New Year's, Gotham is restored to the status of a city, and it's no longer No Man's Land, and that concludes No Man's Land. I had the most to say about this volume. I've been going for a while, I know. Normally I don't analyze it that directly. But man, do I love this volume. This is by far the best. Again, Jurisprudence is the best Two-Face story for my money. Endgame, as a story arc, might be the best Joker Lex Luthor story. in a weird way. It's got a lot of they're not working together directly. They're in fact working against each other at different points throughout the volume. But it's just really, really strong characterizations of both of them, and I really appreciate that. And it's interesting to see how Batman has to deal with both of them. And so Lex Luthor's got this giant organized plan, and Joker's got this mad plan, and one of them does significantly more damage, and that's really, really cool. But yeah, that'll do it. That will do it for this episode of Trade Talk. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the No Man's Land series. I've seen other people doing reviews of it, but nothing nearly this in-depth. So, hope you enjoyed. Anyway, until next time, I will catch you around. Bye. How's everybody doing in the live comments? Let's see here. Oh, lots of talk was happening. Yeah, that was almost like an hour of, oh, man. Yeah, bunch of... Every week, y'all motherfuckers talking about Star Wars. Every week! Every week, everyone's just talking about Star Wars. The Last Jedi, it's hilarious. Whatever. Anyway. Oh, Thrawn came out? There's a Thrawn single issue? Whoops. Well, Will that be a separate video or at the end? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. After the stream, he's going to post a vote for what the next book of Comic Book Club will be. Yeah, I talked about that in the beginning of the stream, and I'll talk about it here at the end before I end the stream. But these are... Whoops, sorry, Jumpa. These are going to be the options for Comic Book Club. I'll be posting a poll on Twitter. Comic Book Club Volume 2 will be happening next... not next week. March 17th at 2 p.m. Saturday, March 17th at 2 p.m. So, leave a comment on the video after it's posted properly. I don't want to do anything in the live comments because it's impossible to keep track of. So leave a comment on the video or check out the Twitter poll. That will be in the description. But yeah, that'll do it for this week's episode of Comic Reviews. Everybody, I hope you had a good time. And hope you enjoyed yourselves. Until next time, bye.